Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS News for the 20th of September 2025. There hasn't been a tutorial video to go over. Is it just me or does my camera look a bit squinty? Oh well, we'll figure that out during the course. There hasn't been a tutorial video this week because I decided it'd be way more interesting for you all to have a quick peek at the Mig-29 if you've not already seen it. So check out my video from today where I take it up for a quick spin. That's what I was doing today instead of the usual tutorial videos, but we'll get back onto those next week. Also, sorry I was away last week, had a little family vacation, but we're diving back into the thick of it today. There is a lot to cover. So let me quickly say hello to everybody. Hello, Tea Kettle Barbecue, Tricker, Robbie Hobby, Ozdead Meat, James Fenton, Bulldogs, Tog, Jeff, Tech Gaming 45, Sean IM81, Interesting Story, Osprey, Frantic Stone, Tornado When. It's been at least 35 months. I'm not sure that's true, but yeah, I actually don't know. There hasn't really been much in the way of updates. Yeah, there hasn't been much in the way of updates for the Tornado. Mark S, welcome. Juice UK, Tiger DCS, Airbus Vidar, Eagle Wings, Evangelos, welcome everybody. And I will take this moment to also welcome the one and only John Bluer, who is joining us as usual. Welcome, sir. Good to have you aboard.
Hello. Yes.
What did you even do with yourself last week?
I just I sat in a room by myself with the lights off and listened to "Oh, by myself,"
hugging
and
yourself.
That's all I did. Yeah. Just staring at a picture of you and Wags, just flicking between the two with a tear going down my cheek. Just like, what can I do with myself?
Calling upon the wisdom of the daddies. Yes. Yeah. as it often is. Welcome, Pink Floyd. Welcome, Darth Pirate. Ozdead Meat, he used my entire name. Am I in trouble? No, not in the slightest. Paul Cope, welcome as well. I chose a hell of a week to disappear. We had a lot of really cool stuff drop both last week and this week. So the DCS gods have been kind to us, it would seem.
Yeah.
Very nice. So shall we jump in and begin? You're getting compliments on your haircut.
I know, I saw that. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I haven't had a haircut in a while, so yeah. It's just I just styled it very nicely today. That's all it is.
Oh dear. Yes.
Funny. Yeah.
We're going to start with last week's newsletter because we have missed it. Let's have a little peek at this. In preparation for the launch of the upcoming DCS Mig-29A Fulcrum, not so upcoming anymore, we're pleased to bring you the next chapter in Matt Wagner's tutorial series, Mig-29A Navigation and Landing. This one ended up being a chonker. This was like an hour almost worth of video that we got from Wags.
Poor Wags having to edit that down.
Yes.
Just all I could think of was him going, and then fumbling something and shit, and having to retake it, because we've all been there when you're trying to put a video together. 51 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Absolute chonker.
A lot of really good stuff. Actually, in preparation for me flying the MiG-29 and also doing my video today, I had to review that very video from Wags a couple of times. It has a lot of great nuggets of information, so well worth a peek.
Yeah, it's a great video. Yeah, he breaks down. I think he flies around, does a couple ILS and visual landings, and then he I think he gets in early on, doesn't he? He talks about all of the. It's not quite a DTC, is it? But it's the idea of loading in different things like what do you call different radio channels and stuff like that. It's really cool. Just really impressive stuff whenever I see these kind of fiddly little elements that they add in.
It's very cool. I like it, and it was good because his video also tells you how the waypoints that you create in the mission editor actually end up getting mapped to the three waypoints, but the three airfield push buttons as well. And then also mentioning that there's no way to program the beacons push buttons unless you use the DTC. You can't just drop stuff down in the mission editor. So a little bit complicated. Reinhard, anyone figured out the viewpoint Lua name of the MiG-29 HDD? I saw your comment on my video, Reinhard. I have not a clue. Not a clue at all.
Mm.
John, you're also getting comments on your beard. You're needing to get some grey. You need to end up with the old badger's arse like I've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Badger's Grundle, as they call it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of the tornado, Tog's mentioning the tornado. I wonder, are we going to get the audio cassette upload capability of the original tornado? I guess we probably are, because that's the vintage that we're getting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that'd be
I
kinda
wonder
nice.
if will it be its own system, or will it be a plug-in? I guess that's the big question, isn't it? Yeah,
Well,
that's the only thing I can think of.
now that ED have implemented the DTC functionality in the game, I would assume, but I don't know, that it's exposed via the SDK. So it should be the case that anybody can implement it in just the same way ED have now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I don't know if you saw, the one thing I did see, actually, I forgot to mention this to you before the stream. So Growling Sidewinder did a short C130 video, and what was actually the most interesting thing from that, it was the little, did you see the really cool UI for the
I did.
Because I've seen
it's like a tablet. I think it's supposed to be basically like a tablet that the Loadmaster has, and it's a really nice UI. It's quite cool.
What was actually surprising to me, and this isn't a dig on DCS or anything, but it was genuinely like, you expect something that plugs into it to be a little bit clunky, and it just looked really slick. And you saw him drag stuff on, and then you saw it just kind of pop into the what do you call it?
Yeah, when he was positioning the cargo on the bay. Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, that was the most impressive thing about that. Obviously he was doing some cool low level stuff, and then he did the actual. We got to. I think that's the first time, at least, I've seen the actual drops happen, at least in real time.
Same.
And they looked great as well. So yeah, the C130's come along. We've got so much to cover today.
Absolutely redonkulous. Well, with that in mind, we should probably crack on for now.
We should. Yeah.
A new DCS A10C2 Tank Killer campaign by Stone Sky is coming. You'll be transported back to 2017's most volatile airspace with the DCS A10C2 Outpost Part 3 campaign that has you flying as part of the 74th and 163rd Fighter Squadrons. Set against the broader US-Russia Great Power standoff in Syria, this chapter blends historical context with engaging gameplay and depth based on the Syria map. Execute demanding sorties with scalable difficulty and guidance. Another campaign planned for the next update is Operation Iron Tide by Sandman Simulations, which takes place following a devastating attack on the USS John C. Stennis in the year 2000. This campaign also takes place in the Syria map, with strict rules of engagement and a United Nations mandate. You will plan and lead the air component of a multinational response, fly the DCS F-14B Tomcat, or the DCS FA-18C. Make the hard calls and shape the battles. Stay tuned for the update to get your hands on these new campaigns.
Very nice. I like the idea that the campaign, you can either go with the Tomcat or the Hornet. That's quite a cool little, you can kind of figure out what's the best tools for the job, not just weapons and loadouts, but what jet do you want to take. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to give my little shout out as usual just now. Everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel, and if you want to further support me in creating this kind of content, you have the option of clicking the join button below and joining Deep Hack's ground crew. I really appreciate all of you who do so, and as promised, I'm gonna showcase it very quickly just now. I've got a scroller now, so at the end of the video, everybody's going to get shown off, and you can all see your names, all the members of Deep Hack's ground crew. There's so many now that I can't read them out because I would lose my voice. So yes, we have to do it like this. Anyway, moving on, we have the Mig-29A Fulcrum Navigation and Landing. Our newest DCS Mig-29A Fulcrum tutorial video focuses on navigation and landing. After a review of the navigational panel and setting up a data transfer cartridge navigational program, you'll learn how to create navigation points that can be assigned as waypoints or aerodromes. In addition to setting up radio navigation RSBN beacons, the video also shows off addition of new mission editor landing aid units like RSBN unit and the PRMG localizer and glide slope units that can be placed on any map and at any airfield for navigation and instrument landings. In addition to setting up navigation programs and how to fly an instrument approach, the video also discusses how to create an inertial navigational fix and how to perform a visual flight rules overhead brake landing. Watch the video now. Should we run that for a little bit, John, or should we
Yeah.
on through the news?
Well, we could run it. I'm just looking through what we got here. It's up to you. I'm not really that fussed, if I'm honest. I think not because it's not interesting. I think it's such a deep dive. It's like a 50-minute long video.
Yeah,
I just suggested people. Yeah, it's not a lot visually going on. The only thing that's kind of cool is looking at when Wags is kind of going through the mission editor stuff, and you can see the different settings you can put on there. But it's go and watch it for yourself. It's a very good video. Even if you're not enthralled and not necessarily stoked on the deep dive, you can definitely at least skip through and look at some really cool bits and pieces and all that kind of stuff. I guess it probably had a bit more clobber when it was before the aircraft was released. Now I think there's plenty of footage of it flying around and doing stuff now, isn't there? So
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Tech Gaming 45, it is in fact in alphabetical order, with the exception of the 3 at the bottom, simply because they pay via other means. So all the ones that pay via the usual YouTube mechanism are in alphabetical order, or at least I believe they are. Have I made a mistake? Let's figure it out later. Ozdead Meat, free tier to your Discord. When? I have no idea how I'm going to manage such a thing. I am thinking about starting a Blue Sky channel where I would do all my notifications and bits and bobs. For now, my thought is that the Discord is for the ground crew. So let me think about it. I know
you can get bots or plugins where what it does is it gives or takes away access to channels, and it ties into people's YouTubes. So they kind of you authorize your YouTube account, authorize your Discord. As long as they've done that on their end, then when they join your ground crew or the membership, it will give them or take away. So I guess you could do some free channels, and then you could have be basic general chat and maybe announcements or something, and then you could have the ground crew stuff that we currently have behind sort of paid channels. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I'll have a think about it. We'll see what we come up with. Sure. Okay, well, moving on with the newsletter, we have the A10C2 Outpost campaign by Stone Sky. This campaign chronicles the Syrian war at a pivotal moment, June 2017. The SDF-backed CJTF OIR, I'm sure that Americans have some way of pronouncing that, as they often do with acronyms. Air power advanced on the outskirts of Raqqa, while Syria became a strategic outpost for both the United States and Russia. You'll fly as a US Air Force pilot in the 74th and 163rd Fighter Squadrons, tasked to fight in a complex, shifting battle space where intelligence gaps, weather, and a rapidly evolving ground situation force you to rethink the OODA cycle in real time. So, I'm not going to read out all of this, actually, because this is something you can look up yourselves if you're interested in this campaign, but it sounds very interesting for the A10. And then, as we also said, we've got this campaign by Sandman Simulations called Iron Tide, which you can fly the F-18C or the F-14B, which sounds like a bit of a laugh. It's following an attack in Haifa and a wider surge in regional terrorism. The United Nations Security Council authorizes a coalition to dismantle Hezbollah's operational capability. Collateral damage is unacceptable. Every target you pick and your weaponeering must honor strict rules of engagement while achieving decisive effects on target. Whoa. Ozdead Meat sends 10 Deep Hack gift memberships. Crikey. Well, in that case, my text scroller for today is going to be out of date. I'll need to read these ones out separately at some stage. But and Ozdead Meat received a gift membership from Ozdead Meat. That's a bit of self-kindness there.
Yeah, make sure you say thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And I will wear a suit next time I visit. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Ozdead Meat. That's extremely kind. Thank you. Please give us a free Discord tier. Okay, well, see, how can I argue with that?
There you go. Yeah. That's bribery. Bribery at its finest.
This is okay, Ozdead Meat. I guess the people have spoken.
Yeah. Leverage. Oh, that's a very good quote. Yes, we're going to get onto that later, Orleans, for sure. We'll
Leverage.
talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Yes,
I wonder what you're referencing.
We are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving up to date, we have this week's one. The DCS Mig-29A Fulcrum has arrived. We're delighted to announce the early access launch of the first ever full fidelity Russian jet fighter. This so I guess, it was a Soviet aircraft. And the first full fidelity one was the MiG-21.
You could make an argument that they're not right. They're not right. They're not wrong, because it is the first full fidelity Russian, I guess, isn't it? Because the MiG-29, MiG-21 is Soviet.
The MiG-21 Soviet, but the MiG-29A is also Soviet.
Yeah, but it's first full fidelity, isn't it?
MiG-21 is also full fidelity.
But that's Soviet.
Uh-huh.
Get me?
Yeah.
So they're technically not wrong. It's a bit of a weird one.
But the MiG-29 is Soviet. The MiG-29 is Soviet.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, we're
I think even they've messed up there. Yeah, absolutely.
This lightweight, highly capable early fourth generation fighter became a legend across the globe. Watch the launch video. Well, Wags has spoken. We need to watch the launch video.
Absolutely.
Let's have a peek at this. Very, very nice as always. The 21 isn't ED, yes, but it is still in the sim.
Yeah, that's true.
Something I was going to mention. The experience in VR is quite nice because the little antlers on your helmet are just visible.
Yeah.
Have you flown it yet in VR, John, or do you fly in VR?
I don't have VR, but I have watched someone fly it in VR, and they said the exact same thing. They're like, "Oh, you can see lots of things." Yeah. It was very, very cool.
See your wee antlers.
Yeah, your wee antlers, yeah.
Yeah, your wee antlers, they're hanging down in your field of view. It's good. The other thing I'd say is that the visor looks really cool, and so does the helmet-mounted queuing system. Looks really cool in VR, although the visor currently has weird reflections, like it reflects things that are behind your head, which, of course, should not be possible. So it's not taking into account, your head kind of obscuring stuff. Anyway, this is a fantastic launch. I've been flying this video is fantastic. I've been flying the aircraft and it's fantastic. Of course, it's early access. There's stuff that's currently missing that they're going to add later. But as far as like a slice of content goes, it's a chunky slice, and everything you need to just get in the air and start fighting is basically there. I think it's great.
I predicted this. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of credit here. I predicted this. I said this. A little brushing off the shoulders. I said that this module would release pretty bug free. I felt like it was going to be a pretty solid release, and it has been. It has been. I just had this feeling it would be. There's a very important bit at the end of this.
I know.
Watch very carefully now, which I wanted to get to, which was a big deal.
Look at this. Look at this. Experimental, it says underneath. But it would appear that they're looking into having little animations for boarding your aircraft. Now, will this make its way to actually having a walk-around capability like Microsoft Flight Simulator? I don't know, but that would be very, very cool.
I took it as that. It seems weird to me that you'd have just a quick animation of boarding. I would suspect there's some sort of, especially since we've just seen the Loadmaster for the C-130 and the fact that you can walk around the outside of the aircraft. Yes. So I think my personal feeling is they wouldn't show that off, and then they wouldn't then show off. I know that's airplane simulation, but it's still within DCS. And then they wouldn't show that off if the two weren't interconnected. When we will see that is another thing. My argument I always say to people with ED is they will get there. What you have in your picture in your mind of what something will be, they will get there. Just the time frame. The time frame is the bit I'm not sure you're always sure about. They do always get there. Tell you what, we've done this before, haven't we? We've sat down, we've gone through their past roadmaps. They know what they're gonna do. It's just when. So I don't expect like this the next patch. It's probably like a year out. And then I always say the first iteration of a piece of technology like that, it starts off bare bones and then it gets fleshed out. I think the same for dynamic campaign. it's going to start off bare bones and it will get fleshed out.
Yes.
So yeah. But it's really cool. It sounds like they're listening to people, because we're not the only ones that have been saying, "Ooh, walk around would be really cool." So
but
yeah.
I'm the only person who hammered on about DTC, so you can all thank me for that one.
Yeah, you can thank Deep Hack, absolutely. Yeah.
Eagle Wings asking if the boarding animation is in game. It is not at present.
No.
But it sounds like, well, the thing is, they labeled it experimental, so it doesn't even sound like they're committing to necessarily putting it in the game, but they're at the very least considering it. So I would vote for it. I would definitely vote for it. They're obviously putting that in at the end of the video to source our feedback. So make sure that you all let ED know what you think about this potential feature. Personally, I'm all about it.
Yeah. I think every small thing like this increases immersion and increases the simulation aspect.
Yeah.
And I would even go so far to say is I would like to start seeing diegetic menus, or however you want to describe it, as I would see like things where, like, a great example in the old games, if you guys always ever fired up the old TIE Fighters games or X-Wing games, like the menus were basically like your locker room,
walking from room to room, and interacting with objects.
Yeah, and that, I think I'd like to see more of that. So I mean, that's going way down the line, but yeah, I that's the kind of stuff I would love to see. Yeah, and I think it brings,
like, I saw a really cool video of I think it was a US Marine Corps crew chief pre-flighting a Harrier very quickly, like checking the rigging of the throttle, and he walks up to the aircraft and you see him popping the latches that make the little ladder, not the ladder, but the little steps pop out. And then he pulls on the handle that remotely opens the canopy and so on. And I was like, I'd love to have those things to interact with, but yeah. Yeah. Arthur Van Rijn, how much milestones are they hitting when looking back at the 2025 and beyond video? That'd be a good one to take a peek at. Me and John were just talking today about getting our module update kind of document done. So I think we could do that at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
Robbie Hobby, we also need Russian/Soviet ground crew. Eagle Wings, I hope they implement it in all aircraft. Evangelos, ED have too many cherries in their basket and are interlinked. It's logical to have delays. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
right. Yeah, Wing Commander. Yeah, Wing Commander had that. I remember there was a locker room where people were sat there sleeping, and there was like water dripping from like the ceiling. There's like a bucket and stuff. It's little. It sounds silly, but little things like that, just
little touches.
They bring a smile on your face. Bring a smile on your face.
Absolutely. Alrighty, let's jump back in. Since its early 1980s debut, so yeah, definitely Soviet, the Mig-29A 9.12A has served with 39 air forces, and around 100 airframes remain in active service. Experience this excellent dogfighter capable of high Gs and angle of attack with the potent combination of the R-73 high off-bore sight dogfight missile and helmet-mounted sight. The Fulcrum can also engage in beyond visual range combat with the R-27 series of missiles, and conduct ground attacks with unguided bombs, canisters, and rockets. The Fulcrum brings a pure and visceral air combat experience, and we cannot wait for your feedback, videos, and images. Enjoy. And we have a new update, which includes the new Fulcrum and a wealth of enhancements to DCS Core. It also contains aircraft module updates and fixes, and substantial improvements to several maps, including Iraq, Caucasus, Sinai, South Atlantic, and Cold War Germany. Please note that on Monday, the 22nd of September, so that's this Monday, we'll be updating parts of our infrastructure, and you may experience an outage in services for up to 10 minutes. So there you go.
I love how they say that as in like, it's nice if they tell people, but like 10 minutes? So I mean, that's very polite of them to say.
John, I don't think you understand. Literally unplayable.
Literally unplayable. Just refund. I want a full refund right now.
Unless we have 7 nines uptime in our core services, then no one should be buying this game. It's just unplayable. Utterly unplayable.
Amazing.
Pink Floyd, still waiting for my C-130. Oof, same. I've been watching those videos with much joy.
I don't think it's far out. I think they're only going to space these out maybe a couple weeks. Probably the next patch, I reckon, C-130. Because, I
kind of feel like C-130 may well be next month. The big update for next month would be my guess.
Yeah.
Ped Osura Is it going to be possible for modders to put more modern weapons? Well, the thing is, it's always possible to change out the weapon loadouts in DCS modules. You can do that with any of them. However, it will break integrity check. So you're not going to be able to fly on multiplayer servers until you put it back the way it was.
Yeah.
But it's very moddable.
I guess the only argument is, especially if it's like if you stick an R77 on there or something, will it talk? Will it talk to the radar or not? But yeah. I've seen modders I've seen modders build entire aircraft out of stuff. So like I can imagine some smart wizard will figure out how to stick a working R77 on or something like that. So, but like you said, it will just break IC.
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing it quite a bit with the Jeff actually. Current Hills mods for weapons for the Gripen. I've actually been borrowing weapons from the Gripen and putting them on the Jeff because they're quite similar aircraft. Actually, with very good results. Yeah, Current Hills small diameter bombs I've been dropping from the Jeff, and they do work.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Signworks Murray, best module for each of you. Well, let's open that out to chat just now, and we'll continue with the news, and perhaps we'll contribute a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the launch of the MiG-29. The full fidelity MiG-29A enters DCS with a study level focus on aircraft systems, flight model, sensors, weapons, and outstanding graphics. Designed as a point air defense fighter, the Export 9.12A variant pairs a capable radar and an infrared search and track system with an agile platform and deadly weapons. The result is a machine that lives for the merge, yet remains lethal in beyond visual range engagements. So why does the Fulcrum matter? Since its introduction, the MiG-29A became a cornerstone of many Cold War and post-Cold War air forces. In capable hands, the Fulcrum can be a deadly opponent, even to other modern fourth-generation fighters. Upon the fall of the Iron Curtain and exposure of Western fighter pilots to the Fulcrum, it was soon discovered that a powerful opponent it could be in close, given its R-73 Archer and HMS combination. In DCS, the Fulcrum will provide a particularly deadly adversary in Cold War scenarios, just employing semi-radar active homing and infrared-guided missiles. The MiG-29A is operated by Russia, Poland, Bulgaria, former East Germany, later transferred to Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Moldova, Turkmenistan, Mongolia, North Korea, Myanmar, Syria, Iran, Iraq, Algeria, Egypt, Sudan, Azerbaijan, Yemen, Eritrea, Cuba, and the United States acquired a small number for evaluation and adversary training. Many of these liveries are included in DCS. So, much excite. Oh, we got Zathras. I do love the Jeff.
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome to the stream, Colin Kelly. So what do we have at early access? We've got a fully interactive cockpit built from 3D laser scans and photogrammetry with precise switchology and labeling. Worth calling out, this is a first for ED. This is their very first module doing this. I wonder if they were inspired by Heatblur, who've been doing this recently. Highly detailed external model and pilot with helmet-mounted sight, in-depth system simulation including the SPO-15LM radar warning receiver and flare and chaff dispensers, fire control radar with both aerial search and track modes, IRST with laser rangefinder that supports close air combat modes and an air-to-air and air-to-ground ranging, helmet-mounted sight that can cue air-to-air missiles by just looking at the target. Air-to-air weapons, we get all versions of the R27, we get the R73, and both variants of the R60, as well as the GSH-31 30mm cannon. Ground attack modes for unguided bombs, canisters, and rockets, including pre-designate, non-pre-designate, and toss deliveries. Navigational suite with point-to-point, return, landing, and traffic re-entry modes. Program up to 3 airfields, 3 waypoints, and 3 RSBN beacons with the data transfer cartridge, or card. Gyro system with fast and long alignments, basic IFF modelling, an early access guide and interactive training missions, Cyrillic and English cockpit labels, and avionics options. Units of measurement can also be either metric or imperial. I've actually tried both. I've tried all of these combinations just for fun, and I find I actually prefer running it in metric, although with an English cockpit.
Yeah, I go with an English cockpit and same metric for the MiG-29. At least a little bit I've been flying it. By the way, it's a really fun aircraft. I've just fired a couple ground attack weapons like rockets and stuff, and flown around and fiddled around and stuff. I think the only thing I haven't really delved into is the FCR in it, but it's just one of those things. I haven't had a lot of time to jump into it, but from what I've probably flown it for about half an hour. It's awesome. Really impressed by it. And like you said, the cockpit is definitely, I mean, the modeling in as a whole, but especially notice it in the cockpit, it's a big jump for ED. I hope they're really, really proud of what they've managed to achieve for this. It's a massive jump up in quality.
Yeah. Like even like the detail in the instrument faces, like you can see some of the instrument faces have like kind of pressed in lettering, and you can see all the detail in there. It's kind of amazing. Pedro Sierra, Deepak, how would you compare the flight model to the FC version? Takeoff, landing, maneuver, taxi, etc. I don't know, because it's been a really long time since I've flown the FC version. The only thing I can tell you, because I can't remember well enough to actually compare it, but what I can tell you is that it's utterly convincing. The flight model is brilliant, and that's kind of what you would expect, because they've had a very, very long time to refine this flight model, and it's gone through various iterations, and it was always brilliant. So what you're experiencing now is the absolute pinnacle. Is it at all different from the FC1? I don't know, because the FC1 was always regarded to be very, very good anyway. So I don't know.
I think people, I know people like to rag on the Flaming Cliff stuff, but I think quite a few of the aircraft do have pretty complete flight models. I think the MiG-29 for sure does.
F-15C has an excellent flight model. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably when we get the full fidelity C, I think that will be probably similar thing, where it will be using a very similar flight model, and then you'll see all the additional fidelity in all the systems. I think the Strike Eagle is going to be a lot more complex than the A. Not the MiG-29A is not a complex jet, but you've got an MFD in there. You've got things like JTIDs and all that kind of stuff, and all the weapon management systems and things. So, yeah. But no, I think that side of things, from what I've flown, it's great. Like it feels right. I mean, I'm not a MiG-29 pilot, so I wouldn't know, but it feels right from what I've experienced.
It feels really good, and actually, the ways that I've been able to stall it out and maneuver it and make it do all kinds of things, it feels utterly convincing. So yes, absolutely. We have a question from Paul Dillon. Do you think ED will make the full fidelity F-15C in the same time frame? The answer to that is no, and we know this because it's in the FAQ. What does it say again? What version? So it will be an F-15C multi-stage improvement program 2, as operated by the US Air Force in the early 2000s. It will feature either the APG-63 or the APG-70 radars. The PAX system, JTIDS, data link, and situational display, joint helmet mounted queuing system, AIM-9X, 2 F-100 Pratt & Whitney 220 engines. It says here, as with the Flaming Cliffs version. So yeah, this is basically early 2000s version of the F-15C that we're going to be getting, and the version of the MiG that we have is 1980s. So no, it's not the same time period at all.
Yeah. Although you could definitely probably LARP the C in a way where you could run, no Fox 3s and all that kind of stuff. So it's almost like more of a... Yeah, do use data link. I wonder if... I know they have some of this. Do you know in the mission editor you can set like historical stuff, and sometimes it can disable things like GPS and stuff. I wonder... That's
I believe just for GPS. But then you can also set up loadout limitations as well. And I guess that's how you do the weapons. Yeah.
I wonder if they could do something. Do you know the Kiowa? Do you know how like you can in a tick box in a bit, and you can do the same for the Car 50, the Black Shark 3. You can go into that last tab in the mission editor, and you can toggle off things like, I think on the Car 50 you can get rid of like the missile warning system and the iglas, so you can make it kind of an earlier version of the Car 50. I think it might be worth ED, just to kind of keep people happy. It sounds funny, but have a tick box to make it like early C and then late C, and then people can just tick that one box and it gets rid of all the the shiny happy doodads, and that could be an easy way, because I think I could see both. Now we've got the MiG-29A, we get another aircraft once we get south at Iraq, and then once we get things like the Charlie Eagle, you're definitely going to see people LARPing Desert Storm. Like Desert Storm's going to be the big one. People are going to LARP on multiplayer servers, and especially for things like campaigns. So yeah, I wonder if that might be worth them doing that, just to kind of shut those guys up.
Could be cool. Could be cool. As you say, some modules have done it in the past.
Yeah.
Jink is saying time frame, not time period. So yeah, well, given that the MiG-29 is already released and the F-15 is not, then I think the simple answer to that one is no. But yeah, is the F-15 coming this year, John? I think you were putting your reputation on the line and saying that it probably is.
Yeah. So just to clarify, Jinx, we were just talking about like what model F-15. I understood what he meant. So I think development wise it will take longer than the MiG-29 because there's a lot more complex systems. And then I think that they've probably been working on them like at the same time. I don't think I don't think the F-15C has just been sat there announced on gathering dust on a shelf. So I think probably they've made some progress, but we just don't know. I like you said, I did a very optimistic that we might see like an early access announcement or something. A bit like the Fulcrum's only come out now, but the early access sale has been like for a couple of months now. Has it been a month or two or so?
Yeah,
I can't remember how long.
I pre-ordered it, and I don't feel like it was very long ago. I feel like the pre-order for the Fulcrum was quite short.
A couple months though, wasn't it? Maybe 1 or 2 months. So I think that's when I say. By the way, I'm not. It's not me backtracking. When I say it will go on sale, that's kind of what I think. It might get announced just before Christmas or just after Christmas, and then we'll probably see it actually delivered early 2026. That's my prediction. I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong many times before. That's kind of what we do here. Is we're wrong.
Unlike me, who has never been wrong.
No.
Yeah. Actually, to expand upon that point where you're talking about the complexity of the systems, this is something I said in my quick look at the Fulcrum. If you want to get into full fidelity modules, but you don't want to read 1,000-page manuals and multiple MFDs with tons of pages and very, very complex systems, the MiG-29 is absolutely for you, because it was designed with pilot training in mind, actually. The MiG-29 is designed to be extremely simple to operate and yet still be very, very capable, which it is. It's a very capable aircraft, but operating it is ridiculously simple. So, yeah. And, the cockpit layout is a little bit funny, but you get used to it quite quickly, and it does follow a certain mentality. It's not like some of the earlier Soviet designs where you're kind of like, why is this here? Someone just shot avionics out of a shotgun at the cockpit, and wherever they landed, they bolted it down.
That is the Hind. The Hind is literally You're like, why is that switch there? But that switch is there.
No, the Fulcrum, it's odd to a Westerner, but it does have a system to it, and it is well designed. So I can very much recommend the Fulcrum if you want your simple entry into full fidelity fixed wing. And
Wags himself actually said this in one of his videos. You combined it to a HOTAS. Yeah. So yes, it's weird in the cockpit. There's weird stuff, but we're at least like blessed with the idea that we can just rebind things. So you combine some of these weird switches. Imagine you can't do that. So we're kind of got the best of both worlds. Unless you're literally building a 1-for-1 cockpit simulator of it, and you do want to have all the switches in weird places, you can rebind things to different bits. So yeah, we are at least blessed with that. Situation. So
I'm laughing at Pink Floyd. He hopes the C-130 has a bathroom. This is making me think about the airliners in MSFS and X-Plane, where people I want to see a really fully detailed cabin, and I want toilets with a working flush, and it's like, guys, please. But it's kind of fun for immersion. I admit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway. The first week, Mig-29A patch swaps the cannon and missile trigger animations, corrects the intake Louvre animations, adds an optional lower resolution cockpit texture set, refines chaff and flare sequencing, restores the controls indicator overlay, addresses repair behavior and after belly landings, and provides an English HUD and HDD option. A dedicated server IFF client issue is identified and queued for resolution. Known items in work include visual autopilot stick oscillations at low speed, landing and taxi light leakage, brake chute visibility for other clients, FCR launch inhibition without the LAQ, ejection and muzzle flash visuals, CAJ logic with jamming, an Imperial IAS indicator, anomaly and large 3D detailing pass covering textures, stencils, bays, IRST dispensers, seat LODs, flare textures, additional national liveries, improved pylons, canopy reflections, and an enhanced pilot model. Oh, Tea Kettle Barbecue is at it again. Oh wow, I'm already feeling like I'm gonna lose my voice. One sec. Deary me.
Amazing.
Thank you very, very much, Tea Kettle Barbecue. That's extremely kind. See, it seems that my investment in the text scroller was a good one. Because next, I'm not going to update the text scroller just now because we're in the episode. But of course, next week's text scroller will include all of these extra names, an additional 20. So thank you very, very much, both Ozdead Meat and Tea Kettle Barbecue. Wow, Jinx, now we're getting donations as well. Thank you ever so much, Jinx. That's extremely kind. Thank you very, very much for your donation. He asks, or she asks, do you think they will model the F-16 correctly for BFM? Its turn radius seems inaccurate. Thanks for the show today. New sub. Am I wrong? Let me know.
I know that they've been tweaking it because one person that has been talking about this a bit was Mover. And yes. I think he was a big part of, he said there was things that weren't right because one of the things he did too, he's done lots of BFM sets with a clean F-16, and he said that a clean F-16 with just two winders is a very different beast to something that's got a bunch of bags attached to it and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, for sure.
That said, he said it was not. There's things like initial turn rates, initial rate, and then sustained rate. There was things that were off. So I know at the very least they've been tweaking it. Whether there's more to come, I'm not sure, but that was probably a couple patches ago. I think if you go through the patch notes, it wasn't that long ago. I think it was within 3 or 4 patches.
We have had multiple changes to the flight model not that long ago.
Yeah. So I think Mover, you can thank, if there has been some improvements, you can thank him. He's probably not the only person, but because he's someone with a platform, he's talked about this stuff, publicly. It's probably caused, like anything, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I think you can definitely thank him for some improvements to the F-16 FM.
Speaking of the F-16, if we're, I took a quick look at the roadmap, so it might be worthwhile taking a look at the after early access stuff. They're currently working on the DTC, fully implementing the DTC for the F-16. We are going to get the air-to-air data link assignments, which is super cool.
Very cool.
That's a feature that I used quite a bit in BMS, and so it was notable in its the fact it's missing here, but they are going to add it. The RWR handoff PRF tones. It says here waiting on the PRF tone library, but I think they have that now.
They got that from Heatblur, haven't they?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I could be wrong, of course. And of course, whatever Heatblur gives them might not be usable in its current form. They probably have to do a bunch of work themselves. But anyway, it's very, very cool. And the ALE-50 Toad decoy.
Yeah, we're supposed to get a Toad decoy for the F-18 as well, isn't they? So I can imagine each of these things they're going to probably do in pairs together. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love Mover. Yes. Yeah, actually, I like Mover too. Mover's good. I like Mover. I like Glowing Amram. Oh, what's that? That guy with the weird voice? Tricker. Yeah, I like that Tricker guy as well. Yeah. He's really good. He's really good.
I really hope he's in stream right now because he'll be so upset. Everyone says he sounds like Operator Drewski and it really annoys him each time.
Actually, that had never occurred to me, but yes.
Yeah.
but then everybody says I sound like Scott Manley, and that you know he's a West Coaster and I'm an East Coaster. You guys have got to listen closer. Anyway.
Yeah.
Signalworks Moray, any update on the tornado? A few people have been asking about that today. I wonder why everyone's asking about the tornado today. Not a peep. I'm in the Avia Storm Discord, and they haven't posted anything for a very long time. Actually, let me click on it right now, because I'll be proven wrong and they'll have posted something. Let me see. Announcements. Most recent announcement was from 2023. So, yeah, we haven't heard anything.
But, and I'm not necessarily putting words in their mouth or whatever you want to call it, but the last time I saw one of them say something, he was saying, look, we're heads down deep in coding. Exactly, and there's not a lot you can show off for that. Like, a lot of it's boring and it's not really fun to show. It's just like, oh yeah, there's just loads of code. So there's been no indication to say that there's any problems.
Oh no, I don't suspect anything's wrong. I think they're just busy.
Yeah, exactly. Did you notice Oz gave 5 more memberships? Did you shout that out earlier?
I didn't. Oh, actually, I now see it. Thank you. Oz did me another 5. Thank you very, very much. Everybody is so kind today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I salute you all.
Yeah, we do want a Tonka though. I mean, we're biased, but we definitely would like a Tonka. Again,
I feel like two guys talking in the pub. It's like, you'd have a Tonka, wouldn't you? Oh, I'd have a Tonka.
Oh bloody hell, mate! Oh, I love a Tonka. Yeah,
and
the Typhoon as well. Love a Typhoon, love a Tonka, all these good stuff. And I actually, again, I'm probably going to spur him to pop up in chat in a minute. I actually think Wags himself has said that he's looking forward to a Tonka as well. So
I do believe he mentioned that. Was it one of the ones with Gonki and Mover?
Yes. So I think he's quite a fan of the old Tornado as well. So yeah, hopefully soon. I mean, who isn't? Yeah, it's a beast. Although there's lots of people pop in and will go, no, I'm not. The moment we said that.
Yes. Anyway, let's jump back in. What's coming after? Well, I guess just later, during early access, I assume, we're going to get the ground control intercept command system. Now, this one I'm kind of excited about. This is kind of cool.
Really cool.
The only other aircraft that has anything even slightly like this is the Mirage 2000C, and who knows how much longer we're going to have that aircraft for. But anyway. Full IFF modeling. This is really cool because this is one of the rare cases of AD actually committing to modeling IFF. Because when it comes to the Western aircraft like the Hornet and the Viper, when they've been asked usually about modeling the IFF, they normally decline. Whereas here, they're calling out that they're going to model the IFF. Now, of course, the IFF in this export version of the MiG-29 is a very simplified system. But nonetheless, the fact they're going to model it is super cool. I'm very, very excited for this. Orleans Junkie, Wags won't talk if he thinks you will talk about...
He may stay quite quiet. Yes, we will get around to that one.
We're going to get to that one, and I hope Wags still likes us afterwards. But I'm sure whatever we're going to say will be balanced.
Yeah.
Yep, we then have the radar and IRST cooperative mode options. Because, there are modes in the aircraft where it can basically use both at once, which is kind of cool.
That's really cool.
An Eagle Dynamics campaign, more missions and liveries, and an improved ejection seat with more detail and animations. So there we go. The MiG-29A features a highly maneuverable lifting body, impressive nose authority, and a high thrust-to-weight ratio that can maintain energy in a fight. Combined with the HMS and R-73 high off-bore sight capability, it will be a challenge to anyone in a phone booth with it. The IRST stealthiness and immunity to jamming can also make it a deadly sniper. Leverage of the return and landing modes to get home and land quickly, even to non-programmed airfields. Master these strengths of the Fulcrum, and you'll see why the Fulcrum became an icon. I was going to mention the R-73, actually. I've been playing with the R-73 quite a lot. And it's kind of hard. Well, it feels harder for me to get it into parameters than a Sidewinder. But once if you get it in parameters, if you get launch authorization and you fire it, the kill probability is really high. Like basically, if you get one of these off in parameters, it will probably hit. Is my experience so far, but it has been a little bit difficult for me to get launch authorization.
Yeah, because it's the smaller ring you got to get it in, haven't you? Not the bigger hoop. Yeah. Yes. At least that's what the guys told me once. Is You got to get
Yeah.
it in the smaller one, not the bigger one.
Yep, that's it. Tea Kettle Barbecue with another 10 gifted memberships. Thank you
Oh,
very,
my
very much
word.
indeed. I'm getting happier by the moment that I set up this text scroller. I think it was a very good idea to spend some time on that. Deepak, wow, I'm gonna have to put another post out for Deepak's ground crew, reminding everybody where the Discord is. We got a lot more Discord members now. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So the last thing it calls out is that Wags has also released his aerial combat instruction video. And I think right now would be a good time to play that a little bit in the background, because that's a good video. Let's as Wagsy's videos always are.
Yeah,
we'll play a bit.
Look at that East German livery. Oh, look at that.
Looking lovely.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, is Tea Kettle Barbecue and Oz Dead Meat, are they having a competition now? Oz Dead Meat just gifted another 5. Thank you so much. Tech Gaming 45, sadly, continuing to miss out here.
What's it called? Where like it's almost like they're bidding for your affections.
Yes,
it's like a bidding war.
No. Look, kids, I love you all equally.
Yeah.
We don't have favourites here.
It's made me laugh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So here we are. Here is a MiG-29A, and it's going to be showing off its air-to-air prowess. I have found that the majority... I was messing around with, the scenario generator that they added recently into DCS. I've used it, I've played around with it a little bit, but I've only seriously used it since the MiG-29 launch for creating these little BFM scenarios. 1v1, I can beat almost any aircraft 1v1 up close. The moment you add a second aircraft, I almost always lose. And now that's probably more about me than it is about the aircraft. But 1v1, I did F-15, F-16, F-16A, and F-4, and all of them I could take 1-on-1. And actually 2-on-1 I could take the F-4, but I couldn't take an F-15. I couldn't take 2 F-15s or 2 F-16s. That was too much for me.
Yeah, this is definitely a little knife fighter. This gets up close and personal. If you get into a merge with one, and especially if you're low energy, it's going to eat you alive. This is what it was built for. Basically, it's a lightweight fighter. It was to scramble up when if they were invaded, or it was an airspace interdiction, and they would get up in the air and go and fight them and stuff. So, but it can obviously, like I said, it can do BVR. And what they used to do is, and some people know this for sure, but some people don't, is the R27, the R and the T, or the ER or ET, they would usually fire both together. So they would fire a radar and then fire an IR, because what's scary is they've got about the same performance, and in the process of trying to avoid an R, you're actually making yourself more vulnerable, potentially, depending on what you're doing, but you're making yourself more vulnerable to the T. So you've got a big old long-range infrared missile coming for you at the same time as well. So that was their kind of their doctrine, and especially before you had things like AMRAAMs and stuff. That's another point I just want to bring up. I've heard people go, well, this is useless if I'm going up against an F-16. Without Fox 3s. And it's like, well, that would be like saying, like, flying, I don't know, they say they bring out the MiG-17 like they are, and you're going, this is useless because I'm fighting against F-15s. It's like, well, it's not supposed to go up against an F-16 with data link and AIM-9Xs. You're going to get eaten alive. But if you're flying generally contemporaneously with what you've got, it's going to be fine. So I think if you go in a MiG-29, if you try and fight F-18C with AIM-9, AIM-120Cs and data link, you're going to get eaten alive for sure. But
unless you giraffe it, as we've seen demonstrated with the F1. Are you familiar with the giraffe maneuver?
What's the giraffe maneuver?
They used to do this with the F1, apparently. So your enemy is up at altitude, where they belong with their Fox 3s and their long-range radars. You're sitting skimming the ground, or at low level, radar off. You only have your EOS or similar system on. You let them pass over the top of you, and then you do almost a vertical climb and shoot them from underneath.
I used to do that exactly when I do a PvP. I do that in Harrier, and I use the infrared hotspot tracker to kind of get an idea of where they are, and I literally fly like nap of the earth, screaming along, and then I try and do a pop-up in the Harrier. It doesn't always work, because if there's a early warning radar, for some reason they just see you. If they wax up, they just see you. There's no ground clutter. But yeah, that's the one way you can kind of, at least in the Harrier, if you're going to fight someone, you know, that's the one way you can kind of win.
Fight dirty.
Yeah, fight dirty in the Harrier. Exactly what you do, because you ain't got anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can do the same thing in this. Of course, you can go radar cold. So you see here your illumination switch, leave it in off for dummy, and then pop it into IR mode and just do a pop-up attack in effect. Yeah. Very, very effective. And they're going to get basically no warning that you're attacking them. Lisa Azra Broad, it has the same flight model as the Flaming Cliffs 2024, so you're paying top dollar to push buttons. Well, not quite. Because you have all the simulated systems that are not present, of course, in the Flaming Cliffs version. But yeah, if you're primarily interested in how the aircraft flies, then yeah, there's going to be no difference between having the Flaming Cliffs version and having this version. Yeah, you would only want this version if you want a more in-depth system simulation. That's for sure. And
look, like I've always said this about DCS, right? You don't need to get every module. You don't need to buy everything. I've said to people, if you're a big fan of, rotary wing, and then someone brings out, I don't know, a F111, and you got no interest in the F111, you can just go, oh, cool, that's in the game. Other people can enjoy it and they can fly it. And if they want to fly an F4 Fidelity, they can buy it. I get to carry on flying my Apache or my Huey or whatever I want to do. And you just, like, it sounds like a funny thing. You don't have to get every module, and I think even ED will probably argue with that same thing as well. You don't have to buy every module. You don't have to necessarily. Collect them.
For sure.
They probably like you to, because that's always good money. But but you don't have to buy every one. I don't think, maybe at least initially, I probably won't be buying the C-130. It's got no reflection on the quality of what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be awesome. I think some people are going to really enjoy it. It's just not my wheelhouse. It's just not my cup of tea. And so I probably won't be getting it.
But, also, the other important thing to keep in mind is that, most people, unlike me, are not able to really fully learn all of these modules. Like, you're going to choose maybe one that's your favorite or two of them, and you're gonna build up that muscle memory and that training for those aircraft. Of course, I can fly all aircraft perfectly because I'm amazing. Yeah. But for you mere morsels, it's probably best to concentrate on one or two.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing. You can't learn everything. Your brain, no. I can't retain all it. I've got like 2 or 3 modules that I just know in the back of my head. I know really well. I can jump in pretty much the Apache, the Harrier, and the Kiowa, and they're just like muscle memory, and I don't have to really think about it. And then there's others I'm like, oh, what was that again? Where's that button? I have to really think about it.
Yeah, chat is saying that I'm slightly desynced. We've had this in a couple of the streams. Now, I don't really know what's going on because...
Are you running OBS Studio?
Yeah.
Try hitting OBS. Refresh on your source, your webcam source. Try hitting refresh. Just refresh source. You can do it. Yeah. So you go into you select your source. You right click refresh. It shouldn't kill it. It will just refresh. It might flicker for a second.
I'm wondering if this is a good thing to do while I'm streaming. But let's try it. It's going to be a laugh. I actually can't see that button.
So you click your source for the webcam, for your source, and it should have refresh source. Allow you to sometimes just toggle it.
All I can do is toggle it off then on again.
Try that. Yeah, there you go. He's gone.
And he's back again. Okay, see if that's any different. That's all I can think of.
I think it is. If I'm not desyncing UI, it might just be some sort of something just flickers for a split second. It kind of. Yeah. Is that better, chat?
Yeah, let me know if that's any better. But anyway, to the video, Wags here goes into a lot of detail about how all the air-to-air modes work. In their current implementation, we, of course, are lacking the cooperative modes. But it's, like I said earlier, it's such a straightforward aircraft to operate. You basically just twiddle the knob to the mode you want, put your cursor over the target and tap nose wheel steering, and then shoot your missile when you have launch authorization. There's really... not much more. Oh, we're getting a thumbs up from Robbie Hobby. Fixed, says Lost Death Meat. Okay, so the problem is my webcam software. Wow, okay. That is very, very interesting. So, okay, let me see if I can address that for next time, chat. Thank you for helping me diagnose that.
Yeah, well, it feeds into the MiG-29's doctrine as well, Soviet doctrine. You know, they somewhat limit the pilots and what they can do. It's very, very much prescriptive doctrine, but at the same time, they make these aircraft very easy to learn. You know, it's just about that idea of, you know, not quantity is a quality of its own, whatever you want to call it, but it is very much like we just need to get pilots up in the air and learning these things, because the idea was, again, always numbers. So you can't sit there and teach every one of them how to use super duper complex systems.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we don't even have a data link or anything in this aircraft. It's just very straightforward. Get your target on radar or IRST, lock it, fire. That's it. That's all you've got. Tea Kettle. Whoa. Okay. Tea Kettle Barbecue just donated £20. Did somebody say PC upgrade ? Thank you very, very much, Tea Kettle Barbecue. That's it. That's so very, very kind.
Lovely man.
Wow. Yeah. This is
Lovely
you guys are all awesome. Thank you ever so much. Hell's dead meat. So if you ever have any trouble with your computer problems, John Bluer is available to help you with your computer problems. John has spent years swearing at OBS and is now considered an SME.
I am an OBS SME at this stage. Yeah. What you learn is every time there's a Windows update, there's a driver update.
Yes.
You have to, before you stream, fire up OBS and find. It's not whether there's something is or isn't wrong. It's what's gone wrong, and then find out what it is. Yeah. And you have to make sure like all your browser sources are refreshed, because it just decides to disconnect with things. It's a nightmare.
This is what I do actually. A half an hour before each stream, I check all my audio sources and I reselect my browser window, because yes, it's always wrong.
There's always
Only
something.
Napalm, welcome to the stream. And I'm going to do another reminder here, everybody. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a massive help to me and to the channel. And just out of interest, let's refresh and find out exactly how many subscribers I have as of right now, just for a larf. We're currently sitting at 12.8 thousand subscribers. So thank you ever so much. And I have 611 videos, apparently.
Wow.
That's a fair few. Absolute madness. Here's the EOS being demonstrated, or IRST. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. And yeah, this is how you would giraffe, of course. You would just run it in IR mode and leave your radar off.
One thing that's kind of cool, and they added it a couple patches before they even put the full fidelity 29 in, is that if you're in, say, like an Apache or anything with a laser warning receiver, if a MiG-29 locks you up with the EOR, or EO, sorry, it will, if it's running the laser rangefinder, you'll get a laser ranging warning, which is really cool. So you will get that
it is feedback. It's very limited range. Like what we'll see here, he does a lock up with the IR system, and you don't get any ranging until you're within, I think it's like 6 kilometers or something. I think the laser is actually very short range. Actually, it's maybe even less than that. I forget. He tells us in this video, so you should go ahead and watch the video. So yes, you're going to get a laser warning, but if you get a laser warning and you suspect it's a fulcrum, you're probably already dead.
Especially in a helicopter. Good luck.
Yeah. You're having a very bad day at that point, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there we go. He shoots something down just with the EO. Anyway, go ahead and check this out on Matt Wagner's YouTube channel. It's an excellent video, and I believe we're going to be getting some more from him on the MiG-29 shortly. But well worth a peek. Channel right, John, can one record in OBS while in VR? I can actually answer that. I've done it. I have a plugin that talks directly to OpenXR, if you're using OpenXR, and it works really, really well. So yeah, it is possible. The thing is, I've recorded some content in VR in the past. I currently don't bother because a lot of people, it makes them feel unwell watching it. So
this is the thing I was going to just say, actually. Yeah, you can. The big thing is I've seen people stream in VR as well. What you want to look into, and you can get third-party plugins for this, is some sort of stabilization. You can do, originally when it first came out, there was no stabilization. Also, you could only stream an eye, so it would always be slightly offset as well. There is now software where it will I wouldn't say it blends the two eyes, but it basically figures that out for the output. And then there's also stuff where it will smooth your motions. That's the biggest thing. Don't worry about the eye thing. It's only an offset by an inch or two.
Yeah.
But if you can find, I can't remember what it's called because I don't stream in VR, but I know people who do. If you can get that stabilization software, really worth doing, because it can make people, there's something about VR, it can make people feel kind of a bit sick
just a little bit
when other people watch it, because you're not seeing it when you've got your headset on, because of the way your head moves and your eyes track things and stuff. You won't see it, but when other people watch that footage back, you'll go, oh my god, you think, have I got
jittery.
Like, you know, yeah, you'll think, have I drunk too much coffee or Parkinson's? Yeah, and you actually, it's just the way that the headset is. You've got natural stabilization in your vision.
Yeah,
you don't see that stuff.
The one issue, of course, is going to be with these VR recording methods, especially if you're only taking one eye, it's a restricted field of view, and if you then stabilize that image, the field of view will be even more restricted because it, in effect, has to subsample.
It gets rid of the edges as well because it's doing all its stuff.
Yeah, so you're going to get smaller and smaller field of view, but it'll be more watchable. It's something that I did used to do, actually, was I used to record my audio live and then record a track file in DCS, play back the track file in 2D and record that. And that actually gave me pretty good results. But you still had the jittery head movement. Anyway, we should jump back into the newsletter. We still have some more to do. There was a DCS update, of course, the one where we got the MiG-29. This week's update introduces new special ground units along with their respective symbology and settings. You may place these landing aid systems anywhere on any map. Note the MiG-21 BIS for Magnitude 3 is not yet compatible. They say not yet, suggesting it may become compatible. Note that the Caucasus and Cold War Germany have integrated RSBN and PRMG landing aids. I'm assuming only in East Germany, but anyway. Please read the RSBN PRMG ground units usage guide. The Current Hill asset pack has undergone numerous improvements that include model updates, vehicle parameters, and interaction refinements. For weapons, the R-27 missile family has been fully reworked. I wonder why. With a computational fluid dynamics, CFD-based aerodynamic model, authentic control systems, updated seeker and guidance logic, new data link INS behaviors, and realistic limitations. Additional changes include adding the Mark 83 Air GPHD bomb. I tried looking this one up, and I can't find any information on this. Based on the name, I'm assuming it's a hardened penetrator, but I don't know. If anyone in chat is actually familiar with this weapon, let me know, because I tried really hard to research this one.
Was it the Mark 83? So it's the drag shoot high drag.
It's the Balut
general purpose. It's a Balut. Yeah.
It's the Balut, but it's the HD version, which I think is a penetrator.
Oh, okay. Is it not just high drag? I don't know.
Am I being really dumb?
High drag? I feel like it might just be a high drag balut bomb.
You might be right.
I just don't think they had that size. It's £1,000, isn't it? 83. Am I right? Or is it 2,000? It's either £1,000 or £2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the £1,000.
Yeah, so they probably just didn't have the £1,000, so I think they probably just added that in.
Okay.
But I think it's a pretty
Pedro
standard
Sura
one.
Is asking what about the Garmin unit for the MiG-29. I've not been able to get it to work yet. There is an FAQ in the forum about how to make it work, and I've not fully followed that yet, so that'll be coming soon. Tech Gaming 45, HD is high drag. I think it's entirely possible that I'm being dumb. It's general purpose high drag, I guess. Laser PRF code adjustment for the GBU-54, expanded fuse options for Soviet and Chinese bombs. Oh, that's nice, because we only really had the Western ones before. That's great. Corrected fuse sets for US weapons, and accuracy refinements for cluster and penetration munitions. That's going to be nice too. Several fixes address detonation, trajectory, and seeker issues, while visual and functional improvements extend to gimlers and other ordnance. I'm going to have to test the cluster munitions, the Mark 20s, in the Harrier again, because for a long time they've been utterly useless. I wonder if that's them fixed now. That'd be fantastic.
They'll either be fixed or more broken. It's going to go one or two directions, isn't it, with the Harrier?
Yeah, our beloved Harrier. Regarding the terrain engine, inefficient loading of 3D models has been tuned to load only those needed in the current context, improving performance in the mission editor and at mission start. AI aircraft, as usual, got some pinpoint behavior fixes noted in the changelog. Given the length of today's video, I'm actually not going to go through the changelog because we still have a ton of stuff to talk about.
We do,
so
yeah.
We'll leave that. Quality of life features such as decimal inputs were added to the mission editor, as well as text search input fields in the rearming window. This one is great. Like I love these simple little things like text searches and stuff. Multiplayer spawn windows were also improved. The quick action generator now randomizes enemy units and AI skills based on the selected mission type. The F-16 Viper got numerous fixes, including emergency jettison mode memory, throttle axis duplication on VPC hardware, or deduplication, sorry. No, duplication. Dear me. Bullseye text clarity on the FCR page, landing gear handle lighting, ECM pod mode transitions, AI advanced targeting pod use, Maverick low rate slew, harm targeting sensor and HATM attack displays emitter overlap, HOTAS air-to-ground gun toggle and ATP behavior in air-to-air track while scan. In the F-18, stabilizes the multi-sensor integration in the TWS and range while search, resolved the JDAM eFuse options and countermeasures bypass counts, addressed the AIM-120C MSI desync and the AI engagement reluctance, corrected seeker queues and ranges in the BST and high... Oh, what is it again? HACQ mode. I forget what that actually stands for.
High angle something acquisition or high. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah.
I can't remember. Repositioned the closing velocity symbology and cleaned up LNS and DT2 when entering ACM modes. H64D reduced pedal-induced yaw wobble through SCAS tuning and fixed George AI search loop. The Hind clears obstructing texture blocks from the side gunner view. The Mi-8 restored missing side numbers. The F4U 1D Corsair added the RNZAF liveries and adjusted flight and damage model behavior, gear spawn resilience, indicators, mirrors, control inputs, and engine sounds. The Thunder fixed the frozen BRM1 HUD pipper. I actually had this problem, and improved the SPI consistency across pages and adjusted INS drift. Kiowa Warrior addressed the nav data detaching, the perf calc button response, the hog menu loops, the dir waypoint correct visibility, and a multiplayer CPG slot crash. Mig-21 reorganized the kneeboard pages and added RSBN and ARC data for the Cold War Germany map. Flaming Cliffs 4 expanded with the Su-33 Flanker D Iraq instant action missions. The Vigan got a great big overhaul. And actually, for the Vigan, let's actually jump into Heatblur's own post on this one. I'm actually going to zoom this a little bit so it's easier to see. Let's see. Hey all, says Iron Mike. Time to start shipping what we've been working on this summer, starting this patch with a large upgrade to the DCS AGS-37 Vigan. From here, we're setting our sights on launching the AI Intruder and early A in the next patch. So get excited, people, next patch. This large Vigan update overhauls and enhances many core and fundamental systems. The biggest highlight is the new electrical system, bringing a host of new warnings and failures, circuit breaker functionality. I'm trying to think, what is the only other aircraft that has working circuit breakers? Is it the C-101 or is it the MB-339? I forget which of them actually has working circuit breakers.
I know the Kiowa has some. Yeah, the Kiowa has some. Yeah,
it doesn't have all of them modeled, but it has some.
Yeah.
The biggest highlight, I already said that. Instrument fault indications, improved RAT and AC/DC failure modeling, and more. We've also fixed the issue preventing the RB-24 and RB-74 missile lock-ons. Our sincere apologies for the inconvenience. Additional improvements include an updated RWR and database, restored KB automatic mode, major fixes to the RUTA display, and refinements to instruments, cartridge and waypoint management, and more. In all, this update delivers a wide range of fixes and quality of life enhancements. Please see the full Vigan changelog below, and we can't wait to hear your feedback. We hope you enjoy. Stay tuned for the launch of the Intruder and early F-14B as we wrap up this summer's work. I would recommend actually checking out Heatblur's Discord, where they do have a very detailed list of the updates to the Vigan. But the Vigan has been massively updated here. It's very, very exciting to see.
they've been talking about that for a little while now, haven't they? I think they've been indicating
Yes.
the Vigan was going to get a big load of love. One thing I just want to mention before we carry on is I jumped in the Apache to talk about that the pedal induced yaw wobble. So what it was doing is when you would trim up, it would do this little, it's sort of like, it's not weather vaning, but it would just kind of do this sort of thing, and it was really annoying. And quite a lot of people picked up on it. So what they've definitely done is tuned a lot of that out, which makes it much more pleasant to fly now. But this is an interim change, because they're going to be reworking, I think for almost all helicopters, they're going to be reworking tail rotor dynamics. So there's going to be, I don't think it's just the Apache, I think a bunch of aircraft.
Was it Casmo who was
get...
talking about this, that he felt like the yaw authority was kind of off?
Yeah, so in certain regimes, the tail rotor's too powerful, and in certain regimes, it's not powerful enough. It's not quite behaving correctly. And one of the ways it was manifesting in the past, I don't know if it was still the case now or before this patch, but sometimes if you had the tail wheel unlocked and you were sat there at it's kind of idle, it would actually start to rotate. You'd slowly start turning, because even at idle, it was just producing too much torque or too much power. So I think there's still more stuff to do, but for a plaster over the old issue, over the boo-boo, this is a very good one. So if you haven't flown the Apache for a while, I tested this out the other day. It flies much nicer now. So you'll be fighting with the trimmer a lot less.
Speaking of helicopters, the one that I want to jump into again, because it's been a while for me, is the Chinook. I want to see where
that's had a bunch of stuff as well. Yeah,
it's had a lot of updates.
For sure.
Nice. Rounding out the most recent update, we have big updates to a variety of maps. I'll just quickly read them out because we're running quite long today. DCS Iraq, DCS Caucasus, DCS Sinai, DCS South Atlantic, and DCS Cold War Germany all receive big updates.
The big one was Caucasus, to be fair. Apparently it's got a texture resolution improvement, and that Caucasus has been kind of, that's the OG. So for that to get a bit of a touch up is great, because you expect it for the other ones, because they're either new or they're third parties. So yeah, great to see that's had, if at the very least, if it's had some textures sharpened up and stuff, that's great to see.
Yes, very much so. Something that you brought to my attention, and I had a go of myself, John Bluer, is the UH-60L mod 2.0 for DCS World. This has been kind of teased for a little while now, and it has now, in fact, dropped.
Yes. So, disclaimer, I was involved in some very late stage testing on the UH-60. So what's happened is we now have a 2.0. We now get two versions of the UH-60. We get the standard L version, which is what Deep's got up there. And we now get what's called the DAP or DAP, which is the Direct Action Penetrator. Sounds like a Grinder username, but it is actually the name that they use for this thing. So it's basically a heavily armed Black Hawk. You can now, in that version, we now have, there's so many things that they've added to this. It's also free, completely free. I'll even put a link to, I'll put a link in the chat now to the Patreon. You can download it from there. If you really like this, if you can donate or join Kinku Justice, whatever it's called, or Kinku as I call him, if you can join his Patreon, I think that's a really cool thing to do, just to support him for developing this. And basically, they've added all sorts. So they've now got AI gunners. Some sort of black magic is going on. They've got AI gunners that work. One of the tweaks we were doing, I can tell you about this is really funny. So it uses a Lua script to figure out what it's doing. And originally, if you were flying it on a multiplayer map, especially one that's like a big grey flag or a big pretense, the problem was the AI gunners initially, the original script was scanning the entire map. And so it would literally, and so what you would literally see if you brought up the frame rate display, you would see literally the cycles of each sweep, and you'd get this like every sort of second or two or 3 or 4 seconds, you'd get this little like dip constantly. It looked like a heartbeat. And so what they managed to do is through the testing process, it was really interesting. I was kind of watching this play out. They managed to kind of change where it looks and how it looks in places now. So it now works completely fine in multiplayer. We're not seeing any frame drops. And I don't know how this black magic works, but it's fascinating. We've now got AI gunners on a mod, which I don't know how that works, but it's cool. So you can put miniguns on the side. I think the standard Lima, you get a 50 cal M2, M3, and you also get M240 7.62s. And the big thing is the flight model is way improved. We've now got rotor blur. You've now got pilot models inside. There's cargo slinging now, so you can sling cargo. You can also load cargo into the aircraft, so it now interacts with the new system in DCS. And then the DAP version, which is the armed version, you can stick everything from... It's got working stingers. It's got a HUD, which you can see there on the screenshots. So we've got a PDU, effectively. And it will even show, when you pull the first stage of the trigger, it will uncage the stinger, and it will actually show you if it's with the targets within it, you'll get a square over the target, so you can get a stinger lock and fire a stinger. It can use all sorts of rockets, gun pods, 50 cal, 7.62s, all that stuff. And then the other thing it can do, although problem is this is stuck behind SDK, you can use Hellfires and you can use APKWS. The only issue is once it goes off the rail, it's ED. They can't get access to that kind of stuff. So yeah, once it goes off the rail, it's whether it locks on or not is basically up to whether the ED gods decide that they want to. It's basically whether Wags just decides that day if he's going to push a button to see it's going to track or not. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm really impressed by it. It's a completely free mod. And go out and download it.
The mod creator, the ham sandwich man himself, is in chat. So feel free to send him your love. And
there you go. Yeah.
Yep, it's very, very good. When you pointed this out to me, I grabbed it straight away and I flew it around for a bit, and I really enjoyed it. I think the cockpit's very, very nice. The flight model is very, very nice. I didn't try out too much of the other stuff, but it's very, very nice. Give it a go.
It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and it's lots of little things coming to it down the line. Obviously, this is something done for free as well, so keep that in mind. When people, I've seen people come into Discord sometimes and they're like, "Why did you got that?" And it's like, well, because it's free and he's doing this in spare time. Shut up. just shut up. We've seen what happens with the was it the Little Bird mod that just went away because people were being dicks. So yeah, go download it, give it a play. Understand that it's all mod. There's lots of things that work in progress, but yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm hoping that this makes a lot more appearances on a lot of multiplayer servers, because I think it's got a lot to offer, a lot of multiplayer servers, especially because it's free as well.
Yes.
So yeah, go check it out. It's very cool.
Massively agree. It's excellent. Moving on to our next topic, we have this forum post that we saw. This was Monday that this one dropped. ED, we need help, as this module has been abandoned by Polychop. And this is in the official ED forum for the Gazelle. A user called Peter kind of basically documents their interactions or lack of interactions with Polychop over a period of time and a number of bugs that they've found with the Gazelle. Apparently, people are having a very, very hard time. Actually, what does he say here? As you may know, Polychop's dev team have all quit the company, leaving only the CEO. For some time now, the CEO is not even answering on his Discord, and there is more and more unresolved bugs in the SA342 Gazelle, and some on the OH58D Kiowa. The bugs vary from missing textures, wrong axes, key binding issues, multi-crew desync, and bugs, kneeboard mixed up, and more. Those bugs were reported from months or years, but nothing is done. We've got the earliest one here, July 2023. So yeah, this is an interesting one, and we actually did, if we scroll down, Big Newey himself jumped in here on Tuesday, and he said, "Hi all, I've passed on your concerns. With that said, please ensure feedback posts here keep to the rules." So yeah, I guess he's not wanting it to devolve too much. But this is clearly a problem with Polychop just now, because they did, after the departure of basically the departure of all the devs, they did have a new community manager, and there was somebody doing some bug fixing. Like the most recent patch is the result of someone that was hired, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm right in saying that those people then subsequently left.
So they got a new community manager, and then the community manager quietly left. Yeah. It's very not good. I for instance, I've been in that Discord, and there are spam bots posting into channels, and nothing's getting done. Yes. Literally, there's people tagging.
I peeked into it just today, and there's very clearly no maintenance being done there.
Yeah, and there are lots of people in the Discord channels venting their frustrations, and even tagging. Well, there's no one to tag other than Sven, and he's not replying to people, so he's just nowhere to be found. So this is. I'm going to just be straight up honest with people. Do not buy a Polychop product anytime soon, because this is very alarming situation for both the Gazelle and the Kiowa.
Yeah, and these are both fantastic modules that I really enjoy. So it's sad that this could happen.
Yeah, it's very frustrating to see this because they're such good modules. Obviously, it was unfortunate that all the devs left. That was obviously an internal issue, but now you're starting to see the effects of that not only affect the Gazelle, but also now starting to affect the Kiowa. Now, there were some, as you mentioned earlier on in the changelogs, there was some small changes to the Kiowa, but I think they were old ones. I think they're ones that were done a couple months back, but have only just... Obviously, a lot of things with patches, it takes a while for them to clear and go into the nightly builds or whatever you want to call it. So I think even those patches that we've just seen are old, and they're only small changes. I'm not saying that they're necessarily dead modules. I'm not saying that that they are necessarily even. You should be, the sky's falling. All I'm gonna. This is my opinion. I think people should not purchase anything Polychop for now until there is a clear indication that something's going on, because it's very alarming. It's very out of pocket behavior, I would say, considering past behavior of Polychop. So as a entity. So yeah, I would just say to people, I think the Kiowa is an absolutely fantastic helicopter. I think the Gazelle is a fantastic helicopter. As of right now, they seem to be mostly working, but already we're starting to see bugs accruing, and it's only going to get worse. So, and the most alarming thing is not even that as such. It's the fact that there's no interaction anywhere from anyone who is still over Polychop.
Yeah, I think that
wild.
That's kind of almost the biggest part of the issue, is that it does look very much like the. Whoever is running the community interaction on Polychop's side has basically just dropped off the surface of the earth. So that's not brilliant.
No, and it's not fun. It's not fun to bring this up. We tried to keep things relatively positive here, but to see this sort of happening is really sad and very frustrating. I suspect that there is way more to it than what meets the eye. That said, it's very alarming. And like I said, just if you're thinking about getting a Polychop module, I would wait until there are signs of life, because it sounds like it's very quiet. So,
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would say the same. Like, I wouldn't want to be putting my money there until I knew what was going to happen. So
yeah. And let what's the old term? Watch what the hands are doing, not the mouth. So don't let another community manager come along and just say, yeah, everything's fine. Wait, see patches, see changes, see definite behaviors before you start doing anything up. But so yeah, not fun to have more drama in DCS. It's not like we haven't got enough of it.
Indeed. We'll be touching on some more in just a moment, but first let's segue into another nice bit of news, and that's this image that we found on Heatblur's Discord, showing off a variety of liveries for the AI A6 intruder, which looks very, very exciting.
Yes, very. I love the intruder. I think it's such a cool jet. This is even the version that they're doing, the A6E. It's the tram, I think it's called. This is the one, if you look at the chin of it, it's actually got a little flare pod in the chin.
Yes.
This is my favorite. I've talked about this before. It's my chef's kiss a little bit. I love, like, 3rd or 4th gens. I love it when they're like a bit old, but they've thrown an MFD in and they've upgraded them.
Yes.
Basically, if it was in Desert Storm, I kind of love it. It's that era, like late 80s, early 90s. There's like an MFD or like some Fleur systems and stuff or whatever. So this is definitely an aircraft I'm looking forward to. And this is the AI version, just to be clear to people. So
Yeah,
what
this will not be flyable.
Yeah, so what Heatblur, sorry, not ED, have said is that they're going to do the AI version first, because that's obviously a lot of stuff to do with flight dynamics and the weapon systems, all that sort of stuff. And then they're going to do a full fidelity flyable module. So
I'd imagine probably in a few years' time.
Yeah,
and of course, before they can release it, they're going to have to sample Willem Dafoe for the Wizzo Jester in this aircraft.
Yeah, they're going to have to do all that as well. And then it's going to be weird because you're actually going to have him sat next to you. So
yeah.
Are they going to have to then add like animations in? Like if he talks, are you going to have to see him bob his head a little bit or do things? Because obviously when he's in the back, you can't see it. It's not a problem, but they're probably going to have to do that, genuinely. Yeah. Like if you tell him to flick switches, he's going to have to reach over and flick switches. So maybe that's a thing that they're looking into. Or he'll just stand there like kind of a bit stiff, like PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Either's fine, but yeah.
It's going to be cool. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah,
and then another topic for us to talk about is the call, and that will be the leaked. Well, it was a series of recordings of a Zoom call between Ron Zambrano and Nick Gray.
Right, Nick Gray.
And then there was another chappie whose name I now forget.
Yeah. Oh God.
I've now completely forgotten. It doesn't really matter.
What I do remember is all I will say is whenever Nick Gray mentions his name, he perfectly he goes into like a Spanish pronunciation or whatever it is. It may not be Spanish. It's like Julio, whatever it was. He's it just made me laugh because it's in Nick Gray's Mark Spencer's voice, and it just makes me laugh. I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to mention this on
Paolo,
the stream.
Yeah.
Paolo, yes.
Paolo.
I wanted to mention this simply because, of course, it erupted on Reddit. People in the community have been talking about it. I watched it all, and I did find it interesting. I think it's a very interesting insight. I think we can all guess who it was that leaked it, because there were only 3 people in the call, and it's not in ED's interest to leak this right now. Although I have to say, it doesn't really... Well... I have to say, we don't learn anything we didn't already know, is kind of my point of view with this series of videos.
Yeah. It was. So I watched. Part of me. It's like what's the word for it? It's not Schadenfreude, whatever it is when you just can't not watch something play out. I had to see it. I had to see what it was. Curiosity killed the cat.
It's like they talk about you know. Things being a car crash, but you can't turn away or whatever.
That
kind of thing. Yeah, like I enjoyed watching it simply because it was an interesting fly in the wall experience. But there weren't any revelations. If you've been following this issue for a while, of course, most of this stuff has not been like kind of officially put out there, but we've seen so many leaks. Primarily from the Razbam side, we've seen so many leaks that we basically knew all of this already, and it just seems to cement the facts here, which seem to be that it looks kind of like Razbam were wanting to be an unofficial sales agent for ED, when it comes to MCS, and got caught.
Yes,
it's kind of how it reads. That's a massive simplification. Of course, there's a lot going on both sides here.
Yeah. So I found it fascinating for a couple of reasons. Is because to me the what do you want to call it? What they're actually talking about in a way was less interesting to me than watching things like body language and tone of voice and stuff. I found it very interesting. I'm a bit of a people watcher. I love watching people. I love watching how things play out. And what I found interesting about it is a couple of things. First of all, I have been privy in my career to be around various CEOs, COOs, and big management meetings. And one of the comments I saw from people was, I actually don't think he was being that aggressive, but people were saying that Nick Gray was being aggressive in the chat or the video call. And I don't know, maybe I'm a bit jaded. I didn't think he was that aggressive, right? I've been in meetings.
The funny thing is, I felt like he was not aggressive at all. Like
No.
I felt zero aggression from him, despite the fact that he then apologizes for being aggressive, or if he came across as aggressive later on.
Yeah.
Like near the end of it,
he's
he's very apologetic for having to maintain leverage over Ron. And actually, the whole time, to be fair, I thought Ron came across very well in the video as well. I think he presented himself quite well, and he was trying to present. I assume he was the one recording, so he was the only one who knew he was being recorded, and the others didn't. But he was very clearly trying to come across as very flexible and very amenable and polite and nice, and I think he did. I think he presented himself very well, and I think Nick Gray was very measured, and I think that okay, he talks a lot, but none of it was kind of extraneous. So he goes into a lot of detail, making sure that everybody understands exactly what he's trying to say, and I think he does it well. Now, of course, do you really rise to these kinds of positions without being good at communication? Probably not. So no. He's practiced this a lot, but I feel to be honest, I think everybody in the video came off quite good.
So here's the thing. If also some people asking in chat, if you go on Reddit, just search like Nick Gray, Ron Zebra, or whatever you want to call it, and you'll find it on Reddit. It's one of the Reddit Rivers DCS Exposed or Hog It, or one of those.
It was DCS Exposed.
There you go. Yeah. So basically, this is about an hour long. It's been broken up into 4 pieces. It's about an hour long leaked video. And to me, like you said, same as you, this is not what people are going to want to hear, but I completely agree with you, Deepak. I think everyone came across okay. Like, nobody came across like they were being a massive dick. And actually, I mean, there are questions about the leverage thing, right? So the leverage thing's probably the most questionable thing about it. That said, if you think that deals done in meetings and with this level amount of money being thrown around are straightforward and all by the book and all that sort of stuff, you are sorely mistaken about how things run in most companies, right? There's a lot of egos, there's a lot of, not games, but there's certain maneuvering. And so nothing, to me, I was that surprised by. I think that what this is my interpretation. I would say to people, there's no right or wrong. It's because there's so many pieces of the puzzle we don't know. It's before and after, we just don't know.
Yes.
But it's a little glimpse in a vertical slice that we got. And I think, to me, Ron was obviously being very... This is my interpretation. I think Ron tried to do a deal with the Ecuadorian Air Force, and I think he went into it. I genuinely think he went into it with good intentions, I genuinely think he went into it because he wanted to do some cool stuff. Where I think he went wrong was he didn't communicate this clearly. The structure of his business, because I think he's got some sort of... There's a whole discussion in the video about whether they're shareholders or employees. Yeah, and all that sort of stuff. And then I think there was a whole discussion, and he hasn't communicated that clearly, which affects a lot of stuff, and he should have. And then he also hadn't communicated like what his intentions were and stuff. So what he did is there's a little bit of a breakdown of trust there, because then someone like Nick Gray's coming into it going, hang on a minute, you've not told us about this, not told us that. And then what that does, it starts sowing seeds of unsureness and distrust and all that sort of stuff. So there's this whole little game that was being played there. And then in the conversations, but I do think that they would be pragmatic. And actually, if you watch at the end, I'll get into the bit in the middle, but Nick actually says, Ron, we can make a lot of money together, and I think we can sort a lot of things, bits and pieces out. So I think there was that. There's 3 things I think which are contentious about it. First of all is the leverage thing about MCS. That's very interesting. Whilst that is a bit interesting, I'll put it that way, it's not, again, unsurprising. Again, I have seen this stuff before happen in businesses. The thing about the payment to do with the Eagle and him holding stuff off, I probably legally, I don't know all of it, but probably legally there's some issues there. But that, again, I think he said something along the lines of, you're pretending that these 2 things are not part of the same problem. And again, this is how business is often done, especially with this amount of money. Yeah, it isn't. I'm sorry, but when you've got a relationship between two entities, you can't separate them out. So legally, I'm not making comments legally there, but I can see that. I can see both perspectives. I also can completely understand that Ron wants his staff paid, and that's also unfair. He should have his staff paid.
Yeah.
So
but,
both of them
in his defense, it was during the course of this call, basically, that Nick realized the structure of Ron's business, of Razbam.
Yeah.
So I think he entered into this whole withholding the payments thing not knowing. Now, would that have changed what he did? Probably not. He probably would have still done it. But he did seem a little bit. He apologized at the end of the call that it was having an impact on other people, which I think was genuine.
He wants his staff paid, and so I think that's honourable. And I think also, from Nick's point of view, he's like, you're developing something that's eventually going to be for MCS anyway. Yes, you haven't designed MCS, but I think what he's doing there, he's saying, if you're serious about this, then buy a MCS
sign
SDK,
the document and put the money down.
Sign the document, and then I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to say, so I can trust you, because I think what's happened here is there's been a loss of trust. I think also he's trying to get money. I mean, he's a businessman; that's what he does. But I think it's a bit weird about way to do it. But this is what it is. It's about intention and showing a level of intention. The heat blur stuff was out of pocket. That said. I worked in the past, I worked in a architectural firm, and basically all at the time at least, I don't know who's still there anymore, but a lot of the directors all were talking shit about each other all the time, and other companies and all sorts. And then next week they're best friends. Like they've sorted it all out. It's so weird. Like it's a bit like when you're at school and two boys, like literally, I don't know if people joke about this, but you can get two lads in the playground and you have like a fist fight, and the next week they're best mates. It's so weird. It's a weird world. CEOs and COOs. It's weird. It doesn't act like me or you and average people are. This is the way these things operate. So I almost believe them when they're like, yes, we're actually kind of fine now. So it's a year's gone by since that. It was March, April last year. I've seen way more change in a month, let alone a year. So again, I'm not sitting there going, oh, it's all fine. Maybe they don't like each other still. It's weird. You can go into business with someone and have a really good business relationship, but you just don't like each other. And that's also totally the case. I've definitely seen that. So it's all a bit. I wouldn't say it's much of a muchness. I think there is some stuff to it. And I think it's still not a good look. And I don't doubt for 1 second that ED wouldn't have wanted this to be leaked. Nobody wants this leaked. And actually, what I would say is that this is the danger is with this leak is there some legal ramifications for this? So that's the other question I had. But
that's the thing, because we know who leaked this.
Well, if we know who, we're not going to say it out loud. I mean, you can. If who we think leaked this, I don't think this is done as much damage as they think it has. And yes, the people who already are not a fan of ED and not a fan of their business practices are already going to not be a fan anyway, and they're probably going to feel more confirmed. I don't know. Maybe this is my perspective. I don't know. I saw comments from people saying that they were like, "Oh, this is really awful. It's terrible." And I was like, I don't know if I'm watching the same video as you are.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good, and it's never nice. Another thing is like, look, I've got WhatsApp chats with mates of mine, and they're great guys. They're some of my best mates, and they're really good dudes. Dude, some of our WhatsApp chats are horrific. Horrific. The memes and things that people say and stuff. What people say in private is not the same as what they necessarily are, and that doesn't mean they're hiding things. It's just people talk differently.
You all think that I'm a very agreeable, mild-mannered chap, but you've not seen me at 10 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. You put a couple beers in someone and something. So that's all I would say. But no, I can see what I tell you what, I can totally see why people are like put off by it. It's not a great look. No. I'm not sticking up for him in that respect. And I've always said from day one, I think you've said the same as well. We think both ED and RB of Razbam have probably done things out of pocket that they shouldn't have been doing for all this.
Oh, for sure. Like, I don't believe you can reach a position like this without both parties being at least partly at fault. So I suspect, I suspect that both parties have not done their best to resolve this, or have been kind of intransigent. I can't say it in their views. So, but yeah, I think for me, looking at this, and I thought this from the beginning. It portrays Razbam as just being a little bit naive. Like, I don't think Razbam were trying to pull the rug under ED. I don't think they were trying to cheat ED.
No.
But the problem is that their actions have kind of had that effect, even though it wasn't their intention. So, yeah, Razbam have kind of naively done not very good things. And then ED have come in a bit heavy-handed, but I understand why they've done that. Like, ED have been a bit brutal here. But to be honest, what's the alternative? Because you're dealing with your third-party community. And if you give one of them a little bit of leverage, then all the others are like, Razbam got away with it. Maybe we can start having our own little deals here and there and making money under the table and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's just what I mean when it gets all a bit weird and a bit like sort of all office politics-y and stuff. It gets a bit like people do things out of principle. It'd be like someone, if everyone's had it in the office where you're like, oh, can I go home early? And like the boss will be like, well, you can, but don't let anyone else know. You know, it's that kind of thing. Or I can't, because even though it's reasonable for you to ask this, it's perfectly reasonable. I'm not going to give you it because it would mean I have to give it to everyone. That kind of argument. And if you hang on a minute, but yeah, it gets a bit weird like that. So yeah, I don't know. I found it a bit weird. And then there's the other thing we can mention. What was it? The thing about the Mirage? Are we going to talk about that one as well?
This one is a lot less clear. This was also posted in DCS Exposed Reddit channel, and it was a video apparently filmed by Ron Zambrano himself, where he goes to. Is this the one where it's in Chile? I forget now.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I think it's some kind of demo of MCS with the Chilean Air Force, and in the demo they're flying over the South Atlantic map in a Mirage 2000C, and neither of those modules are supposed to be licensed for MCS, is our understanding. Now the problem is this is a single source with no corroboration. So honestly, we don't really know anything about what's going on here, or if any of it is true. But that's a troubling accusation if it is true. The accusation that ED... Well, actually, it wouldn't even be ED, would it? It would actually be the MCS reseller. So anyway, whoever is the MCS reseller for the Chilean Air Force is stealing Razbam's IP and including it in MCS, a product for which they've never been licensed or developed. So that one's an odd one. I don't really know what to think about that one yet, because... Yeah, that's really, it's not backed up in any way. No. And it's just, it's somebody posted this on the internet. It could be anything.
There's probably something to it. The other tricky thing is there's so much bad blood now. And it's all being done via social media, which is wild to me. The stuff being done over social media is wild. Like I remember when this first all came out, and there was like literally tit for tat statements over Discord and Twitter or whatever, and I was just like, really, like, is this how you're going to do it? Like, is this all stuff you do in a meeting room or behind closed doors? And I don't know, just a lot of this stuff that's these leaks, I don't know, I'm not saying they're not true, I don't know what to believe of it all, because there's so much. And it's not people the whole to lose and gain. It's like this Zoom call in particular, as you said, we don't know anything that happened before. We don't know anything that happened after. It's a snapshot in time of one interaction, and they've almost certainly had so many. That's one of 20, isn't it? Yeah, probably.
So I don't think we can glean very much from this. And again, as I said at the beginning, I don't think this video is actually very interesting, and I don't think it actually tells us anything about what's going on.
I think to me the most interesting thing is we got a glimpse into. It's like a peek behind the curtain, isn't it? So-called Wizard Oz. You get a small little peek, and you get to see what it's like. And also, we've not seen. It's funny, we've not seen Nick. Most of the time we see or hear Nick Rhodes is telling us lovely story, a poem, and his lovely voice. And it's actually really interesting to see someone not in that world. That was the interesting thing to me. And really, the people watching element for me was the most interesting thing, just watching body language and people talking and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the other thing I feel a bit, I don't know if you felt this way, but we talked about this before, but I felt a bit weird about covering or talking about something that's kind of leaked. It's a bit, I mean, it's out there now. It's a big story, so we thought we'd talk about it. But I always feel a bit weird about that. Like, it'd be one thing to put that video out there if one of them agreed to put it out or whatever, but the fact it's leaked is,
it's in the public domain. That's the only reason why I thought we can talk about it. But I also, as I said, I would like to downplay how important this leak actually is. Pedro Sura is saying here, what is the settlement? We don't know. There's they've never confirmed what the settlement is. The only thing that was confirmed was a settlement was reached in court in December of 2024, if I remember correctly. Based on this Zoom call, we could assume, and this is absolute assumption, we could assume that the resolution is ED would like Razbam to sign and to pay for their licenses, and Razbam would like ED to pay them the money that's been withheld. I think it's pretty easy to assume that was what the settlement was. You might even find that the settlement might include like Razbam entering into a new contract for DCS modules and handing over source code and blah blah blah. So this kind of thing doesn't happen again. But the truth is, we do not know. It's not.
And then the worst thing is we're not really going to know because I think even ED said themselves that they've had to agree not to talk about it.
Exactly.
That's part of the agreement. Is a non-disclosure. So
nobody is supposed to be talking about this anyway. But of course, as we know, the shareholders in Razbam have been quite vocal and have been saying a lot of stuff. Eagle Wings. So where is it now with ED and Razbam? Is it officially over between them? That's the thing. It's not really. It's kind of like North and South Korea. We effectively have an armistice. We don't really have any settlement exactly. So where is it with ED and Razbam? It's nowhere. It's not resolved. I think is the safest.
At least what we know of. Yeah, at least what we know of. Like nothing officially is out there. I
would imagine that conversations and court dealings and so on are still ongoing. I think they're probably still doing stuff, but who knows what.
Still hashing it out. Who's to say that this leak isn't some sort of pressure, or some sort of process or something, and I don't know. It's so weird, all these things. There's a lot of games to play in these sort of situations, and the leak might be a tactical decision, or it might be an accidental, or whatever. Who knows? It's a bit of a limbo, really, like someone said. Yeah.
So which one is best, Korea? Yes. So anyway, I think that's probably about all we can say about that one. And I believe that's actually all the news that we have for the last 2 weeks, seeing as how we missed one. John, I wonder if, as tradition is, now is the time to ask you, what have you been up to? And let me know when you want me to hit the button for what you've been up to.
Yeah. Feel free to hit play on the little thing. Make sure you got the sound off. So I have been doing bits and pieces, as people know, for Nuclear Option, which is a cool little sim-like game outside of DCS. This is a cool little game. If you haven't played, it's actually got really nice. I tell you what, the helicopter physics in this is beautiful. This game. It's on Steam as well. They've just pushed out a new 0.31 update. And they've added this cool coax tilt rotor, coax rotor helicopter sort of thing. It's also got pushers on the back as well, called the Ibis. But yes, it's a really cool little game. And I've been producing merchandise for it in my spare time. I've been Twitch streaming it, actually, producing artwork for it. Really nice guys at Shockfront. And yeah, part of this release was my merch for it went out. So this is the little trailer they've just stuck out there.
Golden GNU, it does have HOTAS support.
It does, yeah. It has Track IR, has HOTAS support. They haven't got VR. Oh, someone's Alexa just went off there.
It was my Google Home just spoke back.
All right. But yeah, it hasn't got VR yet, but I think they've said at some point in the future. It's just they've got to get the game in a good place before they do VR, like various improvements and stuff. And I think is it in a minute my thing pops up, but yeah, they've added this new aircraft. It's got VR support. Yeah, it's based off those kinds of aircraft. It's got track IR support. You can also do it with keyboard and mouse and all that kind of stuff as well, if you're so inclined. But it's a cool little game. And yeah, so this is what I've been doing. This is their little patch they've pushed out. I think at the end of this, I think is when is it towards the end? It pushed out the merch. How far are we in? I can't remember how long it is.
Oh wow, it's quite a long video.
Oh right, it should have been only
actually,
2.
This might be the wrong video.
I think that's the wrong video.
I've grabbed the wrong video.
I was like, it's only 2 minutes. Yeah, anyway, you can skip
Let me go
through.
find the right one.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I've done some shirts. There you go, brilliant. Oz got a shirt a while back, and he said the t-shirts are really high quality as well. We had to go through a whole process of making sure that the t-shirt quality was nice. But yeah, so that's what I've been streaming. I've been doing that on Twitch. People have been able to watch. If you cut to the end of this, I think it's most of the footage of that.
Yes,
it should show. It's a very nice video. This towards the end. There you go. Very nice trailer. So 0.31 out now, and I think any second. There you go. New merch.
New merch available.
So there's some merch we've been doing. So that's the artwork done by Muggins here as well. So they've just put that up on their merch store. So yeah, so that's what we've been working on. So that's what I've been doing. I will be getting back into some streaming actually. I'm going to do a bit on the Blackhawk mod. I'm going to give a bit of a breakdown on that. There you go. There's some of the artwork I've been producing. So I'm going to be doing some of the Blackhawk for DCS. I'm going to be flying around with. I'm going to give the old Apache a go now. Now the flight model has been improved. Also George. I know it's not too recent, but the big George overhaul, just to kind of get back into that again. So that's what I'll be doing. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. This is the other piece of artwork as well, the Vortex, which is kind of basically like an F-35 version of the game. But yeah. It's this is what I've been busy with. That's what I've been doing. It's been fun.
It's very, very cool. I played a little bit of Nuclear Option just after you started working on the project, and I very much enjoy it. It is kind of a simulation light flight sim with a lot of action and a lot of fun. Yeah. So I would definitely give that a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. And you can find John at www. Nobody does W's anymore.
Do we do it anymore?
Twitch.tv/John Bloor and click the appropriate button.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm now going to take an opportunity to do that thing that I often do, which is pimp the VAF. The VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, is a virtual online squadron originally started by myself and Dot Chuckles. We generally fly on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at about 8 p.m. UK time. We're hosted in the EU time zones, and we currently fly the Harrier, the F-16, and the F-18. We're always looking for more pilots, air traffic controllers, mission makers, livery makers, and so on. So go ahead and click the Discord link in the show notes below if you want to come and join the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force. I think now is the time to use my fancy new scroller while we do our outro. So yeah, please, if you've gotten this far through the video, thank you very, very much for your time and your support. I'm going to update this scroller for next week. It doesn't include the 30-something additional members that we now have, which is redonkulous. But yeah, please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and comment. And if you would like to further support the channel, you have the option of clicking the join button below for a very small monthly fee, about the cost of a cup of coffee per month. It really helps me in creating this content, and I appreciate everybody who supports me in whatever manner you do. Thank you very, very much for doing so. I've been Deepak every Saturday at about, now what time is it in UK time zone? 6:30. About 6:30 p.m. UK time on a Saturday. I normally have a tutorial video. I'm currently doing a series on the A10C2. I took a short break just to do I was on vacation last week, and this week I did a video about the MiG-29. But I'm going to continue the series on the A10C2. There's still a lot to cover, and that's always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. Thank you all very, very much for watching. Fly safe, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.